Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. With that being said, let's just dive in. And I do want to start off with the overall price action. So I don't have a chart up on the screen. I'm not looking at the recent prices because I do know that we dipped down to about roughly $92. We hit a lot of buy orders on QNT within the $90 range. If we do come down lower, hey, I will simply just buy more QNT. Anything under $100, I talked to you guys about. Like, it's an instant buy to me because I do believe in the long-term growth of Quant. I believe that Quant is a future $1 trillion asset, and the reason why is because of how much money will be bridged by Quant and also how much demand there will be for QNT as a token. I do look at this as a very significant asset and a pillar, if you will, in the new financial system. And, you know, talking about that, if you don't know what's going on with the world of finance, we are ushering in a massive transformation within digitalization and even tokenization. And I did make a tweet recently on Twitter, and I said the world around us is changing rapidly, and if you blink, you will miss it. We have seen continuous moves being made within digitization and tokenization of everything around us. My full focus is on many of these great tokens and many other great utility tokens. Welcome to the future. And yes, as we do look at everything around us, everything is changing. Everything is becoming faster, more digital. There's a huge focus on AI, machine learning, things like that. You know, this is where I really want you guys to realize the value behind Quant, the value behind blockchain, the value behind DLT, and combining it all into one. The two worlds are converging at a rapid pace, the old world within the new world. And the new world is ultimately a world dominated by these utility tokens that have significant use case potential, where everything will essentially be transacted on digital rails. We are seeing this becoming a reality. And also, there's been a lot of developments happening around some of the global organizations. Now, Just a Tech Guy is an individual that I personally have been following forever, and I do think that everyone should go check him out over on Twitter. Likewise with, of course, Tokenizer, even Utility Theory, but he did say Bank of England, Bank for International Settlements, Bank of Canada, Central Bank of Hungary, Amazon, MasterCard, Barclays, Revolut, Worldline, R3, Visa, Stripe, and Thales all agree. Keep telling yourself that QNT is not doing it right. And listen, I don't care what the retail sector is going to say about Quant or QNT. You could bring up the idea that it is an ERC20 token. You could talk about how QNT has no specific use case. You could talk about anything you want. But what I'm going to focus on is the real moves being made, which is, if we look here, we could see that this is Project Rosalind with the BIS. And this is all working with the Bank of England. And we do see down at the bottom, talking about the Overledger platform. With our Overledger platform, Quant provided the technology to facilitate interoperability between blockchains and legacy systems. Like I said, this is the worlds converging, the two diverse worlds converging together, as well as the secure smart contract and tokenization expertise, which served as the foundation for this project. Then also over here, we do see all of the major names tied to this. You could see the project sponsors, you could see the project team, you could see the vendor team, all of these major players that were tied back to this collaboration. This is very significant to mention because, listen, as we really kind of look at what's happening, especially when we look at the BIS, for an example, they are ready. In fact, recently, we know that Ripple joined the BIS for the Cross-Border Payments Task Force, which was also with the likes of Swift, as well as a few other players. Here you guys have Ripple tied back to this in terms of the task force members. You do see Swift there, you see SIPs there, you also see, you know, a ton of major giants, even Finality's on there, MasterCard's on there, Payments Canada, the Clearinghouse, you name it. And this is very significant because this is all on par with what the G20 has been doing as well. This is endorsed by the G20. We know that the G20 is looking at crypto regulations by the end of 2025, a global regulatory framework that every single nation needs to kind of work within. And if we look at that, right, like, why do you think that they are preparing global crypto frameworks? I mean, like, think about that. They are preparing to implement this technology and utilize it at scale, especially around tokenization. And also, you know, as we do look at the BIS and the Bank of England, we know that Quant did collaborate with them, but this was all on par with what we have been addressing within this space, which is, you know, CBDCs are coming, CBDCs are here, and for the first time, money is ready for the digital age. This is from the CEO of Quant. A CBDC will enable citizens and businesses to automate cumbersome payments and processes and implement logic into money. For commercial banks and other institutions, the opportunity to apply this programmability to create innovative new products that differentiate themselves from challengers and competitors is almost endless. We encourage every bank and financial institution to read the Project Rosalind report and start planning their smart money infrastructure strategy. And for those out there, because I already know that there's going to be a tweet or a message like this on this video, and I did make a tweet about this actually, where everyone is going to talk about how CBDCs are going to control you. CBDCs are a big problem. You are endorsing, you know, these companies that are working with CBDCs. Here you guys have a tweet that I made specifically addressing this problem. I said, I have my problems with CBDCs as well, but to justify that society already isn't heavily controlled by money is crazy to me. This year, we've seen banks closing accounts due to political views. Also, PayPal was a major name in canceling free speech and closing accounts too. CBDCs aren't some welcome mat for central banks to control you and everything you do. The world runs on money today and will continue to. I have my own concerns with CBDCs, but I also welcome private players like Ripple or even Quant using decentralized tokens like XRP being involved to hopefully alleviate some of these concerns. Mixing decentralization with centralization could be beneficial for the retail sector. Either way, CBDCs are already here. They are already happening. This idea that we can now fight back is ridiculous. Where was the outrage 5 to 10 years ago? Now we have 90% plus nations experimenting with / planning to launch CBDCs. It's inevitable at this point. And, you know, I do make this argument many times, like CBDCs are here and many of these players are looking into them. And the best thing is that we can finally see this happening. We realize what's happening. Why not get behind this technology and benefit ourselves off of this? Benefit ourselves knowing what's going on, what's happening. Imagine knowing, right? Imagine this. Imagine knowing that Apple is going to do what Apple's going to do, or Amazon is going to do what Amazon is going to do, and being able to invest early on, knowing what's going to happen with both of these companies. You would 100% do it. Now we know the major names that are tied back to the BIS, which is, of course, Ripple and even Quant. And as we do look at Ripple, Ripple continues to expand on this as well. We know that they already have this CBDC and stablecoin platform. We know that Ripple has been working with Quant as well on many initiatives and even in some major organizations. And as we do look at what these two companies are creating, they're creating a platform for this new financial system. They realize what's happening. And even Anthony Welfare, who is the digital currency, he's specializing around like CBDCs within Ripple. He made this tweet. This goes back to July 20th. And we do see CBDCs are gaining traction globally, and Ripple CBDC team are focusing in on real world use cases for a CBDC or stablecoin. A couple of weeks ago, I shared 2 real use cases at the CEE FinTech conference in Romania, regulated DLT infrastructure for tokenized securities. When you look at securities transactions, there's quadrillions of dollars locked behind securities. That's right. I said quadrillions of dollars because they settle $2.4 quadrillion per year through the DTCC. And they do even say that their partnership with SuperHow and even Axiology Project, a tokenized securities trading and settlement system, DLT-based infrastructure. This infrastructure enables multiple layers of the current capital market infrastructures to coexist on one technology layer, leading to multiple synergies, process efficiencies, and new business models. And they do outline everything here. And again, this is also focused heavily on the MiCA bill with stablecoins and even CBDCs. All of this is happening in real time. And it's either, you want to wake up and realize this, or if you want to blink and miss it, you can. And also, by the way, if we look at what's happening around, CBDC exploration, Just the Tech Guy also posted this on August 15th. And we do see soon QNT XRP, exponential growth in CBDC exploration. Look at this. I mean, tell me that CBDCs are not incoming. This chart shows you how much research, how many proof of concepts, pilots, and even launches are out there right now around CBDCs. It is becoming a big deal. And also, even Tokenizer even said the devil is always in the details, going back to the cross-border payment initiative with Ripple joining the BIS, right? This one, he did post this, can you see between the lines, XRP, QNT, and here you guys have cross-border payments interoperability and extension task force composition, and here we have all of the names tied to it, right? And when you look at some of the connections back to Quant is bridging a lot of these players to the world of DLT and blockchain. A lot of these are blockchain based initiatives. And the reason why I say that is because, listen, we know the BIS they're experimenting heavily through blockchain and DLT. And it's all centered out on cross borders. Like, if you look at cross-border payments and all of the experiments from the BIS, it goes back as far as like 2016, 2017. Their full focus was making cross-border payments as efficient as possible. We know that Quant has also talked about this many times. We know Quant and Ripple are working together on multiple occasions. We know XRP, the XRP ledger, is tied back to Quant. It's a part of their Overledger platform, meaning any central bank, any institution, you name it, can plug and play through Overledger with the XRP ledger. This is why I say, like, you know, as we look at Quant and we look at the future of finance, we look at the future of the world itself, like, things are moving very, very fast. And tokenization itself, we know from a Ripple report as well, that they're set to hit $16 trillion by 2030. And payments were the top use case for crypto. So tokenization and payments combined is a big deal. And we know that these global organizations that are already working within this space, they're already doing experiments, they're already, you know, collaborating with some of the largest names in this space. They are here. They realize the value behind this space. They realize what this technology can do to the entire global financial system. And we know that it's heavily focused on public and private sector collaboration, because this is what is needed to drive home what is going on around our entire world in terms of, you know, finance, in terms of everything. I mean, even, you know, real estate. I've talked about global real estate. It's a market that's ripe for disruption. Payments. I mean, everything around you is getting ushered into the digital age. And it's either you are aware of this or you're missing it completely. Like I said, I'm simply here to show you guys and explain what's really going on here and give you guys the updated viewpoint on what's going on as well. And, you know, you could either listen or you could choose not to. That's totally fine with me. So with that being said, guys, if you did enjoy the video, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to notifications on. And also, by the way, for right now, if you guys are not following me over on Twitter, you guys definitely need to follow me over on Twitter at NCashOfficial. And the reason why is because I'm going to start to do these full-on breakdown, deep dive threads on a lot of these projects, including QNT and XRP. So if you guys are not following me over on Twitter, I highly suggest you do so. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.